Welcome to the first edition of MBC News. In today's broadcast, our reporters are hitting the halls to bring you the stories of the students making the news here in Comic Country. Today, our broadcast features several news segments. As you know, someone makes the news just about every day here at MHS, and here's Alex Meyer with some of those headlines in The Minute.
Recently, the Mason cheerleaders reached out to a former rival when the Comet Squad helped out the Turpin cheerleaders who recently lost their coach, Megan Toothman, in the tragic stage collapse at the Indiana State Fair. The Comet cheerleaders paid tribute to the Turpin cheerleaders by wearing maroon and gold ribbons at their game and presenting the Turpin cheerleaders with a care basket. Mason students look forward to Wednesdays when they get released an hour early due to prime time. But on Wednesday, November 2nd, students will be released 2 hours early due to the new super prime time schedule. This means classes will be 45 minutes long and students will be released at 12:15. There is a scheduled super prime time each trimester. The MHS Guidance Department will once again be hosting College Day. The day is September 30th and nearly 100 college representatives are expected to be on hand for this extremely popular event, giving students a chance to meet with college reps. And finally, you may have noticed a new face in the administrative wing. New assistant principal, Ms. Joyce Lynn Center, has joined the team. Along with working closely with the academic department, Ms. Center will assume roles in the diversity committee, OGT testing, and discipline issues. Welcome to MHS, Ms. Center. Now that's it in today's Minute. Now back to Allie with the stories of people making the news here at MHS.
Young Life, a faith-based youth group in the Mason area, continues to grow in popularity. Many people think this group is just a place to go hang out and act crazy. But as Brandy Emerson reports, Young Life gatherings are much more than that.
This may look like a typical street in Mason. Quiet houses, families inside having dinner, watching some TV, or just catching up with each other around the table. But what you don't see is that in one of these houses, a bunch of teenagers are getting out of hand, but in a good way. No, it's not a rage or a mosh pit, actually. It's a lot more innocent than that. It's a group of kids who are looking to add something more meaningful to their lives, and they hope that by taking part in Young Life, they'll find that meaning. Young Life is a non-denominational Christian ministry that reaches out to middle school, high school, and college-age kids in all 50 of the United States, as well as more than 70 countries all around the world, and it's thriving right here in the Mason community. Even though the intent is to help young people grow in their faith, meetings usually are high-energy fun, with skits and games to help the kids loosen up and enjoy hanging out in a positive environment. Local Young Life leader Katie Scher helps organize events at Young Life meetings and admits that the highlight is usually what happens at the end of a meeting.
On Wednesdays we have Peaches, which is a meeting for our high school kids who are interested in growing deeper in their faith. And then we have Young Life at 7:30. It's basically just a party with a purpose. Kids file into the basement, it's packed. Different high school students are picked to do a skit, and then we have games, and that's followed by one of the leaders giving a speech or a lesson, and then we end the night and we go to McDonald's.
Young Life is a national organization, and even a quick Google search will find Young Life has a strong presence on the internet. With a dynamic website that appeals to Young Life people, highlighting the Young Life mission, selling gear, raising money for causes, and promoting their organization. Young Life is not just a religious-based group. Although religion is a big part of their mission, they do participate in many social events, making it a welcoming environment for all ages. Senior Ashley Newman has been a part of this for several years, and she credits her Young Life family for being a strong support through a rough time in her life.
Young Life has helped me overcome a lot of problems in my life, like one when my father passed away freshman year of a hemorrhagic stroke. It gave me a really strong support system and some really great friends to lean on during that rough time, and it helped me grow my faith in God, which is very important in my life right now. Young Life isn't your typical Bible study. We go to camp in November called Fall Weekend Camp, and we go to summer camp, which is always a fun time. There's no cell phones, no Facebook, no distractions, and it's just a good time to learn about God.
It's a crazy world out there. You hear people say it all the time. It seems like the pace is picking up, and teenagers are bombarded constantly with mixed messages ranging from the stress of being a teenager, the economic and political climate, all while just trying to keep their head above water and avoid the minefield that is the teenage years. But for Young Life and those involved, their hope is that young people driving down a quiet Mason subdivision street may decide to take a closer look. I'm Brandy Emerson, MBC News.
I'm sure you've noticed some changes in the lunch menu this year. Some students have made it pretty clear that they are not happy with these changes. NBC reporter Joanna Monfrida was curious, So she went out and did a little digging so she could bring you the story.
Thomas Jefferson once said, "A government big enough to give you everything you need is a government big enough to take away everything that you have." Now in Ohio, with the passage of Senate Bill 210, known as the Healthy Choices for Healthy Children Act, government has decided you don't need a juicy burger, a cool soda, or a sugary treat when you're at school. When students returned to MHS after the summer break, they found a cafeteria offering a menu of healthier foods and whole grains, and gone are some of the favorites like greasy fries, pizzas, sugary drinks, and snacks. In their place is a menu packed with what school officials responding to the Senate Bill 210 feel you should eat instead. Tamara Earle is in charge of food services for Mason City Schools.
It arose from, I think, the Ohio Obesity Plan and the goals to eliminate or reduce the obesity in students in the state of Ohio by the year 2014. And the bill is to regulate the sale of a la carte foods on school premises through the school day and the extended school day. So it does include fundraisers. It does include the sale of food with a few exemptions, such as interscholastic athletics is exempted from the standards. But extended care, latchkey, after-school enrichment, those programs are written into the legislation to adhere to the a la carte standards.
Many groups and organizations design candy and bake sales to help generate money for their activities. This new law will cause major problems for groups who need these fundraisers to participate in competitions, buy uniforms, and pay for trips. While there may be some health benefits to this bill, Student Body President Nadine Zaki admits it's going to make things a lot tougher.
Well, it affects Stugo in a lot of different ways because in this act being here, it affects how we raise money. And we have our 3G sales, which we make some money off of, and our other bake sales. And with that money, that's how we donate to other organizations. So it definitely affects how we can affect our community, and it affects how successful we can be.
Senate Bill 210 also requires schools to perform body mass index screenings. Students in kindergarten, 3rd, 5th, and 9th grade would be screened. But according to district spokesperson Tracy Carson, the district is applying for a waiver so they would not have to conduct these screenings.
We've applied for a waiver because we really think that that's kind of an invasion of our students' privacy and is really a decision that's best left up to families and their child's physician rather than the schools.
Students differ on the topic of the new choices on the menu.
I don't really like the new food. It's okay, just the pizza isn't as good as last year, and I just don't think it's as good, but I mean, if they're going healthy, way to go.
Food just isn't that good anymore because the waffle fries, they're gone. I experienced the waffle fries in 8th grade when we came here for lunch, and yeah, I just kind of wish they were here. And this whole grain Pop-Tart, it's just not that good.
I think it's good that the children or everyone gets to eat healthier because it'll help our obesity rates and everything go down.
Eating right is a good thing. We can all agree on that. But now the choice has been made for you. While groups and organizations at MHS scatter to find new methods of fundraising, students will have to deal with new rules, new menus, and the new legislation that will be imposed on them every day they come to school. It doesn't take a lot to get students upset. Some may even think it's just typical high school students complaining. But what would Thomas Jefferson have thought if his giant Otis Spunkmeyer muffin was no longer on the menu? I'm Joanna Monfreda, MBC News.